Emma Dean Griffith. Brian Dale Helpenstein. Lisa Ann Ramsey Mayberry. Lori Ann McCain. Kimberly Sue Mitchell. Robert Charles Newcomb. Vicki Lynn Norris.
Thank you.
Would the undergraduate class please stand? And let's give a round of applause to the 2008 graduate class of the School of Professional Counseling. And graduates, would you please now move your tassels to the left? Congratulations.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure and privilege to speak with you today. Some of us thought this day would never arrive. I want to first express the gratitude from our cohort to the faculty and staff of Lindsey Wilson. The professors and the instructors that we experienced were very professional and extremely knowledgeable in this field of study. We commend this program and wish it much success in the future. Without mentioning all of our instructors, there are a couple that I would be remiss if I didn't mention. Our first teacher was Dr. Martin Wesley. We had him for the first 2 classes that we started this program. He set the tone for this whole program for us. It was with his easygoing style and easy-to-talk-to personality that let us believe that we could make it in this huge endeavor. He didn't talk over our heads or throw big words at us. He relayed a ton of experiences and used our experience as examples. We continued to have him throughout the 2-year program as he was our practicum and internship instructor. We all looked forward to meeting with him because he would teach us stuff without us even knowing it. Through conversations, we learned a ton about ourselves and what we could offer this line of work. As the time grew near for our national counseling exam, Dr. Wesley took extra time to help us study and to quiz us. He was always very encouraging and helpful in this stressful time. I would say on behalf of this cohort, we thank you, Dr. Wesley, for helping us succeed. Your input in our lives will never be forgotten. The other instructor that I would like to personally thank is Dr. Mark Staples. He moved on me. He came to us about a year into the program. He was so sporadic, we just sat there and watched. He was so full of energy that we all were exhausted by the time the first break came around. He was all over the board. He wrote notes on top of notes. He passed out papers and articles and other handouts. He flooded us with information. At first, we didn't know what to think about him, but after a while, we decided he was just really plain crazy. He was so excited, and like a child, he just couldn't contain himself. I have to admit that although his courses were some of the most difficult, I learned the most out of his classes. He demanded so much out of us, and we just couldn't let him down. He praised us when we needed it, and he pushed us when he needed to. He, like Dr. Wesley, was a huge support for this cohort. We will never forget you, Dr. Staples. You're one of a kind. I want to share with the families and friends of those who are graduating today a little about what, as a group, we experienced over the last 2 years. When we began, we had a secretary, a child protective service investigator, a social worker at a nursing home, a secretary at a psychiatrist's office, a caseworker and a service coordinator at a local community mental health agency, and a case manager at a male juvenile inpatient treatment center. As you can tell, our jobs alone set us apart, not to mention our backgrounds. We each had our own vision on how this program was going to assist us in our futures. A couple may go on to get their PhDs. Some have changed jobs and are using their education, and others are still searching for the right fit between what they have to offer and what the industry needs. I, being the oldest in my cohort, found this to be an enormous challenge. I hadn't been to school in a very long time. I was scared and not quite sure if was going to work. As a single parent and with a full-time job, this was more than a bite to eat. It was more like a whole elephant. But you know what they say about how to eat an elephant? You just take one bite at a time. So with determination, I began. My 2 oldest daughters, Christy and Brittany, they were in high school at the time when I started. They said I was taking this college thing way too seriously. My youngest daughter, Haley, she was so tired of hearing me say I have to study. She just wanted me to quit. But like I've told all my girls, you don't start something and quit before you see it to the finish. So here I am today, a graduate of a master's program. During the past 2 years, I've missed a few soccer games and beauty pageants and a few family functions. I hope that my girls and my family will forgive me and know that I couldn't have done it without their support and love.